Welcome to It's the Row Show. How are you, Cheryl?
Fabulous, Ro. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, everyone. This is Cheryl Kebalo from the Kebalo Group. I'm so happy to have her on my show. Super excited. She is a hardworking woman. And let me tell you, she has been in business for many, many years, multiple businesses that she has successfully got from the ground up and now has moved on to bigger and better things. And Cheryl, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Well, first of all, Ro, thank you so kindly for having me here. It's quite an honor.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I am a mother of three
Wow.
and a grandmother of one, Harley Rose. And
Oh,
yeah, have a great supporting husband. And that is how I got into the business was through my husband and his development of his family farm. Which is
really?
yeah, which is really cool.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit. So,
Sure.
when your kids were small, what
Mhm.
did you do? Were you a stay-at-home mom? Were you working at another job somewhere? Like what were you doing at that time?
Yeah, so I was a registered respiratory therapist.
Wow.
Yep, so I worked at a hospital, and then I worked for a lung physician who developed an experimental breathing machine, and I traveled with him, teaching people about his experimental breathing machine. So it was
That's
really cool.
interesting. So what did
Mhm.
the machine do?
So actually, it was a high frequency jet ventilator. So it would give little tiny pulsations for people who had stiff lungs versus someone who's able to take a deep breath.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was really cool. So we won't say what year that was in, well, unless you really want me to. But that was way back when. Yep. Dr. Eric Luck worked with Dr. Eric Luck, which he was amazing, amazing man.
That's funny. I loved the medical profession. Like I always wanted to be a pediatrician. Then that didn't work out because I heard that, you have to deal with the sick and dying kids too, and I didn't think I had the heart to do that. Um, Very sensitive. So
Hmm.
I never went that route, but I did get into the medical fields with dental hygiene. I became dental hygienist, which I absolutely love, love, love. But okay, so you were doing that, and then
Yes, I was doing that. I loved it because I love helping people, right?
mhm,
So, and how I chose that profession initially was with my grandfather, Daniel. He had COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So, I wanted to help other people learn how to breathe and how to exercise condition themselves. So, that's why I went into that field. But prior to that, I really wanted to focus on business
mhm.
and switch to medical. And guess where I am now, Ro? Business. Isn't that funny?
So let's tell everybody, what businesses did you open?
Yeah, so basically, I was a multi-owner franchise owner, and I had at one point six Remax offices.
That's amazing.
So I really loved the whole merger and acquisition. So I was licensed in 2004. After, like I said, we did the family project. We started that in like 2001, 2002. And I had my husband's aunt, Nadia, who actually was my mentor. She was a Remax agent. She was fabulous. And she was like, Cheryl, she goes, you really would be really good at this business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I just loved helping people, seeing projects come together, going through the planning and zoning, and just seeing something start to finish.
Right. So how old were your kids when you started that?
So my kids were, let's see, so that was in 2020 to 2021. So Andrew now is 28. He's my youngest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then Alexa and Tor are 2 years older than him. So yeah. So he was younger. The great thing is my mother-in-law, she retired early. So she was able to watch my children, which was really nice.
I think that's a huge part, right? Is being able to have people to depend on to help us when we want to start these businesses and that our kids are taken care of, right? Yeah.
No, absolutely. So Andrew was 8 at that point.
Wow.
So, and then, yeah, so I mean, I think that was really pivotal for me to be able to do what I needed to do. But family's so important to me. I always had to be around for those very special times.
The moments, right? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I went from kids wanted to be the pediatrician because I loved kids so much, to opening up a birthday party place because I love kids so much.
Wow, I didn't know that
So
about you.
yes, yes. So from 2003 till about, oh, yeah, I want to say 2011, I did children's birthday parties, all while doing real estate at the same time. They worked hand in hand, believe it or not. People are like, how do you do it? And I was producing a lot in the real estate business. But it works hand in hand because you're meeting people all the time, right? So the moms that would come bring the kids for the parties, and then after the party was over, we'd chit chat, and get to know who was looking to buy, who was looking to sell. These all became prospects, right? So a lot of people, they get into the real estate world and they're like, you know, I can't do anything else, or I don't want to do anything else. But the more that you're involved with, the more people you get to meet, the better your real estate business will get, right? Yeah.
No, absolutely, and you bringing that up reminds me, so when I first originally started in 2004, I worked with my husband's company, and I did all of his books and bookkeeping, which was
Mhm.
really cool. So I worked for him for 32 hours, and then I literally still was able to produce a six-figure income selling real estate.
Right.
And it
Right.
was only until I became a broker owner was when I said, "Andy, I'm so sorry. I love you, but you're gonna have to find yourself another bookkeeper."
What was his business?
Electrical company,
Oh,
and he was
okay.
a builder too, so it was both of those.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so then fast forward. So why did I get open that business? I think I opened that business because it was something that I could also bring my kids to.
That's so
And I
nice.
had and I had them involved, right? So they would give, every time somebody won a prize for one of the games that we were playing, my kids, as tiny as they were, 7 and 6, they were giving out the prizes to these other kids. And so it made them feel good and excited, every time they had to give out the prize. So that's why I did that type of business. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then the real estate just really, really took off like crazy. And there was no time for anything after that. But moving forward, I decided to open up my real estate office and my school, right? So I find that, why I keep saying to myself, why do I just keep getting into businesses? And when I think back to being small, I think it was always in my blood. I always wanted to be my own boss. Very entrepreneurial, like crazy, crazy things I would do. Like my mom and dad actually, they used to own a pasta um, place. A pasta. They made my dad you works on these big industrial pasta machines, like huge pasta machines,
Mm.
like tons, weighs tons, like the ones that Kraft uses, right, to make the macaronis for the macaroni and cheese, big gigantic pasta machines. And so he was always into that, buying and fixing and flipping older pasta machines. And then they decided to get into the business and start their own. And I remember like trying to attract people to get in there. I did whatever it took to get outside. I wore all these different Santa hats. I was whatever I could to try to market to get them in there. I did, and it was great. It was really, actually, that was delicious, delicious, but I think I gained a lot of weight during those years from all that pasta. Well, you can eat the pasta, but you have to exercise, right?
Yeah, just a little, right? But no, I mean, so, like, looking at you, you just have had entrepreneurial spirited parents, right? So, I mean, that's what you are, an entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah. They loved that, and yeah, I mean, I can't, I can think back to all these like things I would futz around with when I was younger. And now I look at kids, and when I see that in them, I really try to make them understand how special that is, because they need to take it's a gift. It's truly a gift. And they need to take it. Like there's certain things that I wish I would have like I wish during college I would have went and took some business classes, you know? I think that that would have been great. Not that it's not too late to do it now. I could definitely do it now with the extra time that oh my god. But thinking back, like I wish I would have done that. I think it would have made a big difference. Um, but I love to invent and I have my inventions that I want to get out there. So I think that I'm going to take a couple of those classes before I start getting those to market so I can understand it a little bit more and how that market works.
Well, it's so funny. So I always considered owning my multiple franchises. That was like my MBA of
Mm,
spending all that money. And that was the biggest education that I really provided for myself because I always was constantly growing and challenging myself.
right.
So to me, I thought really being in business right there was the greatest gift I could have given to myself.
And to the kids, right? Because
Oh, absolutely.
we get to teach them so many different things that we don't realize we're teaching them at the time, you
No,
know?
absolutely. I mean, my son, they said, "Mom, you're like the hardest working person that I know and I see." And I always tried to better ourselves, better our family, and to be able to give wherever we're able to give. Just the important things that make you well-rounded, right?
So, giving advice to those moms out there that always really wanted to start their own business, but they're afraid to, they don't know what the next step is, what would you suggest?
I really think getting a budget and getting a plan together. So it's really important to sort of see, what do my expenses look like? Do I need infrastructure? What do I actually need? And really determine what is their why? Why do they want to do that?
Right.
And really when you're in business, it's got to be really, you want to try to take the emotion out. You have full of emotions, but you're almost an investor because you're an investor in your own business. So you
That
want
is
to make sure the
true.
math works.
See, that is so true. And that's huge because, at the time when we owned the birthday party place, it was a pizzeria slash birthday party place. And, my husband and I, we have like hearts of gold. And every time people would come in, especially friends and acquaintances, we never had the heart to charge. So it would always be on the house, we'd always be giving it on the house. And when I think back, I'm like, I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, right? Maybe, yes, once in a while do it, but doing it as excessive as we did, probably not a good idea, right? Because how do you keep yourself afloat?
It's true. I mean, I always try to look at people who needed a hardship. Like if someone expressed hardships in business or in something, giving to that type of person, but it's really tough. Ro, I've known you for how long? You have a huge heart. And it's hard, especially if your friends are hiring you to do the birthday party for Joey or
Right.
Bobby or whatever. It's like it's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard
Yeah.
to do that and have difficult conversations, right?
So would you suggest to someone that wanted to start their own business that they would leave somebody else in charge of those type of personal relationships?
So, well, it's hard to say. So I think it depends on the business because a lot of times you, the business owner, is the face of the company.
Right.
So I think it really depends,
Mhm.
but maybe having a consultation with someone to really dissect, what they are going to really expect from a financial point of view and look to see, what is your projected return on investment going to be?
Exactly, right. And I think probably the most important thing that I didn't do back then was probably have it written out, you know, details. If you were a family member, you get this much discount. If you're a friend, you get this much discount. I think that that really would have played probably a huge part in in that type of business when I was dealing with that. Yeah.
Right. So I think another thing too is, looking at the proposed business at year one. Where does that business owner want to be? Where does that business owner want to be at the end of year five, year 10? Is this something that they're going to want to create like a legacy to give to their children, or is this something that's going to be sellable? So I think taking a look at all those things are something really important to try to see, where they want to go and what is
Right,
their vision, right?
right. So what would you think? So if you had to give someone, okay, so let's first start off with they don't have the money. They really want to get into the business, but they don't have the money, right?
Right. So I think why do they want to start a business? So what is their why?
Mm-hmm.
I know there's lending institutions that lend small businesses monies, but I think they have to really see what is their why and look at the risk,
Right.
right? Look at the risk.
Especially when you're getting the loan at, yeah, at a higher rate.
Because if you don't have the money, and I think it depends on the specific business, do you need product? Do you need inventory? How much is that
Exactly.
going to be? And the thing is, we always think about the owner. We pay everyone and pay ourselves last.
That's
But then
right.
we need to survive because we need to feed our little children, right? Or our
Right.
big children, and we
Right.
need to support our families.
A lot of women don't realize, but there's so much out there in terms of grants,
Yes, that's a great
right?
point. Mhm.
And it just takes, some time to really get on that computer and search, but they're out there. They're out there and they do give it. And so I think that that would be the number one thing I would suggest if someone really wanted to get into the business. Have a good business plan and then definitely search for different types of grants that women can get because they do give them out. So what would you say are your secrets to success?
So secrets to success. I think it's being true to who you are.
Right.
And then I always treated, like, my employees, my agents as they were my family.
That's probably the number one thing, right?
Yeah,
They
absolutely,
have to feel like they are worth something, you know?
absolutely. And I always put all of them above my own needs. I really did because I just love being a leader. I love helping people and, just helping people sort of see what direction they wanna take their business into,
Right.
and asking them
And
specific
paying them
questions.
well, you pay somebody well, there's no reason for them to look for anything else,
Mhm.
right? And then they
Right.
stay loyal, they do stay dedicated. Yeah, that's key, and a lot of people don't realize that. Sometimes I look at some business owners that I've come across, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you would make something that small get in the way and then ruin that entire relationship and have that person possibly walk off now because you did that." So it's just, you don't they don't think it through, you
No,
know.
true.
It's so important to make sure that they are compensated and told. I think that the more you reinforce how much you appreciate them, right, the more they want to do,
No, absolutely.
right? Um, so what do you want to achieve next, Cheryl? I mean, you are on fire, girl.
Well, let me tell you,
And
so
Cheryl's got her daughter Alexa. I mean, they are a mother-daughter team duo, like unstoppable.
we are. So it's so funny because really after owning your own company, I sold or, it changed ownership because we know sometimes brokerages just aren't worth anything when we go to get rid of them, right?
Hmm.
And it took a while for me to recover after that because you know what, Ro? I loved being a leader and being in charge. And
Right.
I literally lost my purpose. I really did. Because after I
Uh-huh.
did that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I was always used to going to this office and that office and so on and so forth," that it took me, I wanna say, a good year and a half to get out of my funk.
Wow.
I
Wow.
mean, it's a long time. I mean, listen, I still was a producing agent. I was, still producing 6 figures, but I just didn't feel like I was in my realm, right, of
Hmm.
where I wanted to be.
Right.
So, right now, Alexa and I, we are, team members. We actually are the founders of the Gold Bar Team Inc. CT,
Awesome.
co-founders. It's a big chunk of word there of the Gold Bar Team. So that's really cool. So we're going to be doing that. We're looking to grow our team in numerous states. And Alexa, she's just amazing. My daughter, she really is.
He
I mean,
really
she,
is.
she has a gift. You
I
know,
know. She's
She
just so adorable.
she's adorable, and she's on fire. I mean, she was the youngest, president of her board of realtors in Connecticut, and
Mhm.
she's amazing. She's serving on, the state level now too, and, we're gonna be going to DC, so it's really exciting. We're actually starting our Women's Council of Realtors in Connecticut.
Excellent,
Specific
excellent.
chapter, Central CT, so that's really exciting to do, and it's just about woman empowering other women and really having that sisterhood embracement, right? Supporting other women who are in business. It's so important.
It is so important. So looking at Alexa, right? Do you take that step back and say, wow, like, look at what I created? Because, they follow us, they watch us, they grow, they hear everything we talk about, right? We instill in them these values, right? So you created this amazing woman that you're talking about. You'd be
I did,
really,
and
really proud because she, you know, in life, it's so hard to come across people that you could truly feel the genuine person that they are, and that's like, to find that is like trying to find a treasure in the sea, And when you come across people like that, I'm so grateful that you guys have come into my life and we are partners in this EXP world. And just like bringing it to the next level is just so exciting, super duper exciting. And like I said, looking at Alexa, I mean, you have done an amazing job, Cheryl. You really have.
oh, well, thank you so much, but we have to give Mr. Andrian Caballo, my husband, some credit too.
Yes, yes, yes.
'Cause she does have a great tato, and tato means, father in Ukrainian, and he's an amazing
Aw.
support too. But yeah, so to see her, and it was so funny because when she was in college, she went to UConn, and she's like, "Mom, I wanna do a mentorship at your office, internship," and I'm like, "Huh?" I was, like, shocked. I'm like, "Okay, Alex," I said, "This is not gonna be easy. You're gonna
How
be the
old was
friend."
she?
She was probably, I'm not sure when they do the internships. I think it was like the 3rd, she was probably her 3rd year of college, 3rd or 4th year, and literally she was the front desk person. She was like, "Thank you for calling such and such. This is Alexa. How may I help you?"
Aw.
And then look at her. So, and it's so funny because I actually had her work for every lead that she got.
That's
So, I taught
important.
her how to fish because by me giving her leads was not gonna help her be a successful realtor,
That's right.
so
Yeah,
but she's
that's
amazing. She really is, and just I'm very proud to work with her.
that's awesome. So what were some challenges that you found, getting through these businesses?
So, I think the challenges are, I think what I did, I grew so fast. So if I think I could give someone advice, it would be to, because you always, in our business row, we meet agents. And
Mhm.
even though we have an office in XYZ zip code, they want to be in the next zip code, right?
Right.
So for me, I would meet these top producers, these great agents. Okay, so let's open up another office. Let's do this. Let's do that. So it's a little tough. So I would say small, keep down your expenses as much as possible.
Mm,
Really think before you get into the infrastructure and your overhead. And
yeah,
larger and more offices was not necessarily better. Because what do we see now, Ro? People are not going into their offices.
they're not. Everything's online.
Everything's online, and
Right?
this was even prior. So I sold my businesses in 2018. So that was prior to COVID, and I saw trends where agents weren't coming into the office. Well, agents shouldn't be in the office. They should be out having coffee
That's
with
right.
their prospects, right?
That's
With
right.
their sphere. They should be meeting with the attorneys, or being out, going out doing business.
That's the only way they're gonna meet the people. Yeah,
Exactly. And
yeah,
now I think what we have now, we're able to build something so unbelievable, something unstoppable. We are not in one zip code, which
I
is like
know.
amazing.
It
And
is
we don't have the
amazing.
pressure, right?
Yes, it's so, so true.
And we're able to,
When you think back in the day when we had to get into the car and drive to work, and depending on where we worked, right? could be an hour, it could be 2 hours of traffic. Always wishing, like, oh God, I wish I had that job that I could stay home and work. I wish I had that job. And now, fast forward, post COVID, everybody pretty much, a lot of the people can work from home. Not, certain things you can't. You have to still go. But most of all that online stuff now that with the internet is doable, and it can be done right from the house. And real estate has just gone from tons of paperwork. You remember those days because I remember those days. Oh my God. And then, from tons of paperwork to just a click, 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 1, 2, 3, done.
It's awesome. I think it's just like so much more convenient for our clients,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. So the number one tip you would give somebody to grow their company.
Okay, so number one tip to grow. I mean, I think don't be afraid to take a calculated risk.
Mhm.
I mean, that's how I
Go
was.
for it, right? Just
You know,
go
go for
for it.
it. Don't be paralyzed, right? You have to go for it. You have to believe in yourself, have the confidence in yourself that you will succeed. See that success and it'll be yours.
Exactly right. Manifest it, right?
Manifest. Absolutely.
Truly manifest it and believe in yourself and lean on others if you need help. I
Absolutely.
think that's probably the number one thing that would get into people's way is that they feel bad not to approach someone for help. You know, people love helping people.
Absolutely.
They love helping people. So definitely, reach out to that help for that help. And don't let fear get in the way, right?
Absolutely.
Fear will hold you back. Do not let
Absolutely.
fear get in the way. You just got to do it, right? You just got to do it.
No, absolutely.
Well, what do you know, Cheryl? It's time to go.
Oh my goodness, already?
Yes.
We just got
But
started,
I
Ro.
know. But everyone stay tuned for the next It's the Row Show every Friday at 4 o'clock. Thanks for joining. We'll see you guys soon. Cheryl, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.